Like so many cultural artifacts of our heritage, the exchange at Siwala holds great history and remains a significant treasure to many of its descendants.
I've been fortunate to go to India 3 times. We only went to these old temples, places of worship and pilgrimage and that kind of thing. And when I come down here, the spiritual vibrations I got here, I didn't get it anywhere in India at all.
It must be noted that without the dedication of one Pundit and the support of his family, friends and a community, this would be a mere relic of the past, long forgotten and who knows, maybe even replaced with high-rise businesses or houses.
A lot of common small little things, or some of them are a lot smaller than this. Others again, they will start it. Sometimes you see part mud, part brick, and so all of those now knocked down and moved out. So when I came down here and I saw this one, I say, nobody preserving our history, and this is part of our history that, in my view, should be preserved. So, and that is what attracted me, and then I decided that I will stay on here and see as best as I could do to preserve part of our history. Nobody was saving them kind of thing at all. So I consider myself fortunate enough to be able to come and to get involved here.
In this episode, I continue my chat with spiritual leader of the exchange at Siwala and Shiv Mandir, Pundit Hardeo Maharaj, also known as Pandit Lal. Here is where the journey begins.
Like the average Hindu, you get invited to a puja, you go in the puja, and you can't go down, boy, I feeling hungry. Yeah? So you're looking forward to the food and when he go finish. So we're not totally interested in the message per se. We're only looking for your own self thing, and I was like that in my early days. But when I got married, things begin to change, because my father-in-law was Pundit, and when we go by him and the relative and so we'll have more religious type talks. And then at the same time too, in my teen years, mostly about 14, 15 or somewhere about there, I realized I grew up by myself, by my nana house, and I come here by my father. He has his condition, restrictions and all of that. Being a teenager, I was in a rebellious years, so I and my father can't see eye to eye. And then Grandpa's mother, so she decided, well, she will take me under her wing. So then I come more under the religious influence. And having had that, well, that's like the little background. I'm still into learning Hindi, Sanskrit and all of those kind of things. Until somebody come, Rampa, people from down here, they come and they tell Rampa, well, they're looking for a Pandit if he could dance. So Rampa tells me, well, your Aja was there. He's the body who grew up. After my Aja passed on, my Dada, that is Rampa's father, elder brother, he used to come and do puja for the people here. He had a ladies group, so they will do the full moon puja and so. So he was the Pandit then. And then he too passed away, and then after him, they had nobody for a little while. And then my father came and he was the Pandit here doing their monthly puja and so. Father passed away and all. So Rampa naturally says, so you have a lineage here, your father and your grandfather and everybody. So he said, tell them, well, I should be the fittest person to come and pick up and to continue the puja and so. I had known some of the puja mantras from my father-in-law. So I started here as a Pandit in 1985.
What was your father's name?
Mahadeo.
Hardeo.
Yeah.
And your Aja's name?
Tirubhuvan.
And father-in-law?
Father-in-law Shiv Sangra.
Just to clarify, Rampa is Pandit Dr. Rampasad Parasram, Dharmacharya of the Sanatana Dharma Mahasabha of Trinidad and Tobago. Naturally, I was curious about life here in the early days. Pandit Lal Maharaj delivered a perfect piece of nostalgia.
The lady who was then the caretaker here, used to live next door. So she was Dev Mahabir Singh's wife. So Dev Mahabir was overlooker. So here you have the estate. And in the estate you have all of these fellas who would be the man in charge of the gang. We call them driver. The driver is the fellow who, because like the supervisor in the estate, call them driver. And he will have, each of them had a little gang walking and that kind of thing. The senior among them was overlooker. So he was the senior among them. And then he became, so he was the guy across behind the building that you're seeing there. Is another building. That used to be the mule pen. No modified, but same spot and on frame and that kind of thing. So we had the mule pen across here. There was a little bit of road coming in here. Obliquely opposite to us here was the only two-story building in the area. Here we had a row of houses along this road going here. We had about 7, 8 houses, small little houses, 1 bedroom kind of thing, with a little piece of kitchen attached and that kind of thing. The people who used to live there in 1956 were people who will work in the dairy. So we had a dairy across there too. This piece of deer skin is what Gosai before Niaja used to sit on. So you don't sit flat on the ground. Who doing a meditation and so you want to break the polarity between you and the ground. So you have to have something in between. So they used to sit on the skin. And Gosai would walk around with one. This is a cool one. This can't be things. So he had earlier on sometimes he used to be out of copper. And he goes there ting. So now the people timing on that kind of thing. There's Mura.
This?
Yeah, this one.
This. As I walked through this Sivala, I wondered, how did this spot become home to a mandir, a Hindu place of worship? While there are no records to confirm when the Sivala was first built, many believe it could have been the late 1800s or the early 1900s.
I have a letter from a fellow named Scott, who used to be overseer in charge in the estate. Yeah. So he says, according to his knowledge and so, parcel of land was given to the Hindu community to put the temple and all of that. He too have no date, so he don't know when it was given. But when he came here, this was already in existence.
My Nana was the Pundit there in the 1900s, between around from 1918, 1920 and so on. In those days there was no exchange road and whatnot. There used to be the rail track where the cane will go. So there was no Renji complex then. The last house was where old Marquis, rice place. So from there we used to come across, either we use the traces on the back, which we can use between the cane, and go cross the train line as we had, and then go to the place. So we used to take a walk and go everybody, especially for Shivratri.
The Sivala was in need of improvements, but it wasn't easy to generate financial interest. Pundit Lal tells me of the challenges he faced as a young Pundit trying to preserve tradition and at the same time preparing for the future.
In 1986 December, we formed a committee, and then there were 2 main people in that one day. One fellow named Emmanuel Doon, he was there too, and the other guy, who is a Ramgulam, we used to call him Cody. And Cody and this Emmanuel fellow, we just call his Squawk. So Squawk and Cody went around looking for a little donation. They sell tickets and they did collection, and them 2 fellows do real work. So when I started, in the back of my head, ideas begin to develop, and the ideas, as it unfolded, I will have a place here. So this is my mandir to do my puja. Right? But it must not be only here, because we have no community center in and around the area. So I didn't think, if not more, at least it should be like the community center for the Hindus.
Yes.
It should be able to accommodate all, and because of that, and the accommodation to accommodate all, I went in the back. We're not desecrating your mandir. Your mandir is here for your puja. So anybody should be able to come there.
Here on the property of the Exchange Sivala and the Exchange Shiv Mandir, you'll also find the Pandit Parasuram School of Hinduism.
So Exchange Sivala is here before Karuni was Karuni. Exchange Sivala is here since this whole area was known as Exchange Estate.